Hello, and welcome to a new project I'm calling RPGun, where you will journey me through a tiny cutesy RPG world, absolutely decimating everything in your path with a gun. For this week, I've planned out everything for the game, imported a bunch of assets to eventually use to build out the levels, and programmed a significant portion of the necessary blueprints that I'm going to need. So let's start by taking a look at the prop section in the editor. Now that I actually know the engine, know how the engine works, pretty much everything I have here is better organized and easier to get to. So, along with some individual props like these apple and keys and keyholes, uh, these folders have a whole bunch of the assets that I'll be using. These characters will be used for the villagers and enemies. Then all of these door, modular terrain, and village homes will be used to build out the environment stuff and levels. Now, we'll go into gameplay and show off everything that is working so far, because a lot of things are, a lot of things also are not. Now, the first thing you'll notice is these arrows flying straight at my head. Currently, they're flying too high and constantly following me, but the end goal with them will be for these to be fired by these archer goblin guys and shoot towards the player when they're, or where the player is when they're spawned, and then disappear after a moment. And of course, they damage us, currently doing 25 a hit. Now on the UI, you can see the health in the upper left, and then on the upper right, keys and apples. Currently, only the health UI works, but eventually the others will display how many of each item we have in our inventory. So I'm actually going to start by walking straight into this door, and obviously it does nothing because I have no keys. If I go and pick up one of these giant oversized keys here, you'll see I unlock the door and it opens right up and gets destroyed. Uh, Currently, the keeps track of all the keys you have, and as long as you have one, it will remove it from your inventory and destroy the door. Now, obviously, the most important thing here is this gun. This came built in with the Unreal first person level, but I will make some adjustments to it later on so that it will actually kill the goblin enemies. We'll be able to actually deal with all those. And I will also grab this apple here. And now that that's in my inventory, I can press H and restore some of my health. You'll also see that I have a few assets just placed around here that will be the start of some levels. And they will eventually be built out further, but the last thing that I have for now is actually a way to progress to the next levels. So if I just enter this little area here, I'm actually now in level 2, which currently just has some apples in it. I'm gonna heal the way up. And then I will go back and I can instead progress into level 3 through here, which right now just has a key and door. So since there won't be too many levels in the game, but I still want to mimic the open world field of RPGs, so the player will be given some choice in which level they go into. Later on, this will probably look like going down possibly a mine shaft or further in towards a larger goblin encampment, something like that. And that's how we'll be done. Now I'll just quickly show off all these blueprints being used to do these. We've got the key that can just be picked up, same as the apple. The door, which checks your inventory for a key, and then destroys itself and removes you one of your keys. The arrow, which follows you, the beginnings of how it will decay, and then it damaging you. The health system, which is the same as the last project did. You can just heal, take damage. And then the player health, also the same. It also creates all of the UI for our health, and now has this option where it checks if you have an apple and heals you up. The start of the Goblin Archer, which will spawn the arrow objects. And then the next level, which is very simple. It just opens the level by name. And then I actually have these individual things here with the variables for the level names. And then the game instance, which is doing a lot here. It is checking if our player's health goes down and resetting the level. And then this is how our inventory functions, where it keeps track of the amount of keys and the amount of apples and sees if they get picked up or unlocked or picked up or eaten. And then lastly, of course, the widgets with all of our UI. This may be separated at some point, but for right now, it's all just in one. And that's all for the blueprints. So as far as the assignment requirements go, I technically have all of them completed except for the input action, as I currently don't use any is input key downs in this game. But by the end of this project, I will have all of that, and of course, built out levels and improvements on everything else here. That's all for this week. Thanks for watching.